What if I told you there is a black hole so old its light began traveling before the universe had even finished waking up? No planets, no Milky Way, no Earth, just darkness, gas, and the first faint stars trying to turn on. Then, hidden inside that young universe, astronomers found a monster, a black hole with millions of times the mass of our Sun. And the terrifying part is not its size, it is the timing. Because according to our best models, it should not have had enough time to grow. Black holes are supposed to start small. A massive star dies, its core collapses, a black hole is born. Then it feeds. Gas falls in. Stars get torn apart. Galaxies collide. Slowly, over millions and billions of years, the black hole gets bigger. That is the normal story. But this one appears far too early. It is like walking into a nursery and finding a giant among newborns. So, the first question is simple. How did it get that big so fast? For years, astronomers had a problem. They kept finding ancient quasars, bright points of light from the early universe. But quasars are not just stars. They are galaxies with feeding supermassive black holes at their centers. The black hole itself is dark, but the material falling into it becomes so hot it can outshine the galaxy around it. That is why we can see them across impossible distances. But every time we find one, it creates a new problem. To shine that brightly, the black hole must already be enormous. And if it is enormous, it must have grown. But if the universe was still young, then when did that growth happen? That is the crack in the story. Maybe the first black holes were not born small. Maybe some were born heavy. Not from dead stars, but from huge clouds of gas collapsing directly into darkness. No normal star phase, no slow beginning. Just a massive seed forming in the young universe. If that happened, the black hole would start life already huge. It would not need billions of years. It would only need a head start. But there is another possibility. Maybe early black holes fed faster than we thought possible. There is a speed limit for feeding. When gas falls into a black hole, it heats up and blasts out radiation. That radiation pushes back. It can stop more material from falling in. So, a black hole cannot simply eat forever. At least, that is what the old models said. But the early universe was not calm. It was dense, messy, packed with gas. Maybe some black holes were buried so deeply that radiation could not escape cleanly. Maybe they fed in secret, covered by dust, wrapped in gas, growing in the dark. And by the time their light reached us, the crime had already happened. Now the mystery becomes worse, because some early black holes seem almost too large compared to the galaxies around them. In the modern universe, galaxies usually grow with their central black holes. The galaxy is the city, the black hole is the dark engine in the center. But in the early universe, the engine sometimes looks too big for the city, as if the black hole came first, as if the galaxy grew around it. That idea changes everything. We usually imagine galaxies forming first. Stars gather, gas settles. A black hole grows in the middle. But what if some black holes were there almost from the beginning? What if they helped shape the first galaxies? What if the monster was not the result of creation, but one of the things doing the creating? That is why these discoveries feel so strange. They are not just distant objects, they are messages from a younger universe. A universe where darkness grew quickly, where gravity worked before light had filled the sky. And every new telescope makes the problem sharper. James Webb looks deeper. Chandra finds X-rays. Euclid searches ancient quasars. And instead of making the mystery smaller, the universe keeps adding more examples, more early monsters, more black holes that look too massive, too bright, too soon. So, astronomers are left with three unsettling choices. 1. The first black holes were born bigger than we thought. 2. They fed faster than we thought. Or 3. Our timeline of how galaxies and black holes grew is missing something important. None of those answers is comfortable, because each one says the same thing. The early universe was stranger than our models allowed. And somewhere in that darkness, before Earth, before the sun, something was already feeding. Quietly, violently, successfully. A monster born before the universe looked ready to make monsters. Maybe that is the real horror of deep space. Not that it is empty, but that it was never empty. Even near the beginning, something massive was already waiting in the dark. The clean takeaway is this: the black hole that should be impossible reminds us that the universe did not grow up slowly everywhere. In some places, darkness grew first.